WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5:30.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Hit that clock. We have a lot of news to get to in the first 6 minutes, and we start tonight with 2 people critically injured when their condominium in Oakland County exploded. This happened last night in Orion Township. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office says a 75-year-old woman and a 72-year-old man were hurt, but nobody died in the blast. The township fire chief says the explosion and fire destroyed the 4-unit building and damaged other nearby buildings. Altogether, 18 units were either destroyed or need to be inspected. The chief says it looks like a gas explosion. Consumers Energy is also looking into what happened. A 22-year-old man from Canada is in jail tonight because of what he was hauling in a tractor trailer. Sheriff's officials in Berrien County say they found more than 120 pounds of cocaine with a street value of about $1.5 million. Deputies stopped the truck on I-94 on Monday just east of Benton Harbor after getting a tip about the illegal cargo. And for people struggling with substance, there is a new state resource that can help. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services launched an online mapping tool that shows treatment and recovery services around the state. You can search by location or by services needed, and we have a link under the Scene on 6 section of our website, WLNS.com. Staying here in Michigan, a man from South Haven is facing decades to life in prison when he's sentenced in February after pleading guilty in federal court in Washington earlier this month to traveling with intent to engage in a sexual act with a minor and enticement of a minor. Prosecutors say Keith Frierksen started contacting the girl online in 2022 when she was 13. Earlier this year, prosecutors say he went to Washington to pick her up and bring her to his home. Frierksen is also facing charges out of Van Buren County. Today in Iowa, 2 middle school students were stabbed in the school's cafeteria. Police say the 2 girls had minor slashing injuries and were not taken to a hospital. The suspect, who police describe as a 14-year-old student, was taken into custody. They say he attacked multiple people in the cafeteria before classes started. There is no word yet on what charges he will face.
Stop! Stop!
Oh my God! Well, the woman in this video is now facing multiple hate crime charges. Police in Illinois say she started a fight with a Palestinian man and his pregnant wife in an Illinois Panera Bread restaurant. They say the 64-year-old woman tried to pour coffee on the head of the man who was wearing a pro-Palestine sweatshirt. She's also accused of trying to knock the phone out of the wife's hand. The police chief there says this behavior will never be tolerated in the community. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is meant to remember trans people who lost their lives to violence. The Williams Institute at UCLA Law estimates that more than 1.5 million people in the U.S. ages 13 and older identify as transgender. UCLA says transgender people are more than 4 times more likely than cisgender people to be victims of violence, including rape and assault. The Human Rights Campaign reports 36 transgender people died by violence over the last year. The youngest was 14-year-old Polly Likens of Pennsylvania. The Pacific Northwest was hit overnight and this morning by a major storm known as a bomb cyclone. And that's when a cyclone quickly intensifies and whips up hurricane force winds. At least 2 deaths from falling trees are blamed on the storm. About 50,000 utility customers were without power this morning, and the Weather Prediction Center issued warnings for excessive rainfall through Friday, and wind warnings are in effect. Crimes known in the United States, with the median loss per scam being about $700. On CBS Mornings Plus, the American Kennel Club explained how to tell the difference between a legitimate breeder and a scammer posing as one on the internet.
You want the breeder to get on the phone with you, talk to you, send pictures of their dogs, records of their breeding program, vet records, things that you can verify the person's a real person with a real litter of puppies.
She adds that you should always try to get references and meet the puppy at the breeder's home. In Italy, police were able to save several Etruscan artifacts from the 3rd century BC. Altogether, the artifacts are worth just under $8.5 million American. Most of the objects are connected to funeral rituals, and they include urns and 2 sarcophagi, one of which had a complete skeleton inside. Police were able to track down the artifacts when they found pictures advertising their illegal sale. 2 people have been charged in connection with this case. America, it's that time of the year when fire departments start warning people about the dangers of deep frying their Thanksgiving turkey. The National Fire Protection Association says Thanksgiving Day is the peak day for fires caused by cooking. About 1,000 home fires happen on that day. These firefighters in Chicago are showing just how fast an oil fire can ignite and how hard they can be to put out. When using a fryer, they say always use it outside and not on a wooden deck. Monitor the temperature at all times and keep a fire extinguisher nearby that is rated for grease fires. And reaching the end of the line for our first 6 minutes of news, Budapest's new tram is a full-size rail car made of 1.8 million Lego bricks. Yes, it was unveiled today. It weighs 6 tons and took 90 people about 7,000 hours to build over the course of 2 months. Unfortunately, the first Lego tram in the world will not actually run on public tracks, but it will be on display, Kendall, for people to enjoy. That is really neat.
I know, just the amount of effort I feel like it takes to make even just one of those small little blocks there.
I know. It's incredible what you can create with Lego bricks. Just don't step on them.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
That's a little painful. Yes. If you're not a fan of winter weather, well, our forecast might be a little painful. The first few snowflakes of the season are on the way, Siobhan.
All right, all those glorious winter-like weather details after the break. And coming up, wintertime temperatures here in mid-Michigan have not been normal, and this week's Weather Wednesday will explain why. That and much more still ahead, so keep it right here.